My name is Anna. I'm 30 years old, and I have a secret. I never thought this would happen to me. But one day, I realized I had fallen in love with my best friend. And the worst part? I am married. I live in a small town near the sea. It's a quiet place where the wind smells like salt and the seagulls cry above the rooftops. Everyone knows each other here. When I walk to the store, someone always says, "Good morning, Anna." People smile. They wave. From the outside, my life looks perfect. My husband, Mark, and I live in a little white house with blue doors and flower pots by the windows. When I open the windows in the morning, I can smell the sea and hear the soft sound of the waves. It's peaceful. We've been married for 5 years, 5 quiet years. Sometimes I think we forgot how to laugh. Every day feels the same. I wake up early before Mark. I make a cup of coffee and sit by the window. Sometimes I watch the sunrise. Sometimes I just stare at the empty street, thinking about everything and nothing. Mark is a good man. He works at the local museum. He loves reading about history and watching sports on TV. He is quiet, gentle, but sometimes he feels far away. We don't talk much anymore, not like we used to. I like different things. I love music. I like staying up late and playing online games. Sometimes I draw, just for fun. I laugh with strangers on the internet. I don't always understand why I feel closer to them than to my own husband. Mark and I are very different. At first, I thought it didn't matter. I thought love was enough. But as the years passed, I started feeling alone. Not the kind of alone where no one is around, the kind where someone sits next to you, but you still feel invisible. 3 years ago, something small changed my life. I met someone online. His name is Leo. He lives in another city, far away. We met while playing a video game. At first, we were just teammates fighting monsters in a magical world. But soon, we started talking more about music, books, family, everything. He played the guitar. He made me laugh. And every time he laughed, I felt lighter. Every night, I put on my headphones and talked to Leo. Mark would be reading in the living room. He didn't mind. He said, "It's good you have a friend." But Leo became more than a friend. I didn't plan it. I didn't see it coming. Before I share the rest of my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone is hearing my words, someone who understands. Please tell me in the comments. I would really love to know. After that first night, Leo and I started talking almost every day. At first, it was small things, music, books, food, funny videos. But slowly, our conversations grew deeper. He told me about his childhood and his dream to travel around the world with his guitar. I told him about my town, my sea, and the small white house where I lived with Mark. He listened, really listened. When I spoke, he didn't interrupt. He didn't look bored. He made me feel seen. Every evening, I waited for the moment when he would come online. It felt like the highlight of my day. When I saw the little green light next to his name, my heart beat faster. Mark still didn't notice. He thought it was just a hobby. He would smile and say, "You really enjoy those games, huh?" And I would smile back and say, "Yes, I do." But inside, I knew it was more. Leo made me laugh again, really laugh. The kind of laughter that makes your chest feel warm. He called me Anna the Brave because I always protected our team in the game. And sometimes, when he said my name, it sounded so gentle that I forgot everything else. One night, after another small fight with Mark, I went to my computer. My hands were shaking. Leo was online. "Hey," he said softly. "Are you okay?" And I broke. Tears fell down my face as I told him everything. How Mark and I argued. How I felt alone. How I didn't know what to do. Leo didn't try to fix it. He just stayed with me. He said, "You're not weak, Anna. You're human." Those words stayed in my heart. For the first time in weeks, I felt safe. After that night, I talked to Leo even more. He became my safe place, my small escape from real life. We shared our dreams and fears. He told me, "I wish I could walk by the sea with you one day." I smiled, even though he couldn't see it. "I wish that too," I whispered. Then, one night, everything changed. We were joking about something silly, maybe about a magical creature in the game. We were laughing, just like always, when suddenly he said, "You know, Anna, you deserve to feel happy." My heart stopped. I didn't know what to say. So I whispered, "You make me feel happy." There was a long, soft silence. Then he said, "You make me happy too." That night, something shifted between us. We flirted, just a little. It felt exciting and wrong. When I closed my laptop, my hands were shaking. My heart was full of guilt. I sat in the dark for a long time, staring at the quiet room. I was married, and this, whatever it was, wasn't right. The next day, I told Leo we should stop. He agreed. "It's not right," he said gently. And just like that, we went back to being friends. But it was never the same again. A few weeks after that night with Leo, I sat on the sofa with Mark. The TV was on, but we weren't watching. He held a book, but he wasn't reading. It was one of those silences that feels heavy, almost loud. Then he looked at me and said quietly, "Anna, do you want to talk?" It surprised me. We hadn't really talked in months. But I nodded. That night, we sat at the kitchen table for more than an hour. We didn't argue. We just talked, really talked. He said he missed how we used to laugh. I told him I felt lonely. He didn't get angry. He just listened. It felt strange, but good. We decided to try again, to try to fix our marriage. At first, it was awkward, like speaking to someone I used to know. We were careful, polite. But slowly, something began to change. We went for small walks by the sea. Sometimes we walked in silence, listening to the waves. Other times we talked about simple things, the weather, what to eat, what book he was reading. We started eating dinner together again, no phones, no TV, just us. Sometimes we even laughed. One evening, I sat next to Mark on the couch. My heart was beating fast. I said softly, "There's something I need to tell you." He looked at me. I took a deep breath and told him about Leo. Not everything, but enough. I told him we had a close friendship and that we flirted once. I waited for him to shout or walk away, but he didn't. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I understand." I looked up, shocked. "We were almost broken," he said. "I'm glad you had someone to talk to." And that night I cried. Not because I was sad, but because I was grateful. After that, we started doing small things together again, cooking, cleaning, watching a movie. We weren't perfect, but we were trying. During this time, I still talked to Leo, but only as a friend. Just short messages. Nothing more. I thought everything was fine. But one night, while we were laughing about something silly, I suddenly felt a deep sadness. because I realized something terrible. I still loved him, even though I had chosen Mark, even though I was trying to fix my life. Leo was still inside my heart. I tried to hide it. I smiled when we talked, but at night, when I lay next to Mark, I felt heavy with guilt and confusion. How could I love two people at the same time? One evening, I called my sister. We don't talk often, but I needed someone to hear me. I told her everything. She was silent for a long time. Then she said, "You have to choose, Anna." I whispered, "But I love them both." She asked, "You love Mark, but do you feel seen with him? Do you feel safe?" Her words hurt, because they were true. With Mark, I felt safe, like a warm blanket. But with Leo, I felt alive like sunlight in my chest. That night, I didn't sleep. I walked through the house in the dark. I looked at our wedding photo, the seashells on the windowsill, and the little drawings I had made. I loved my home. I loved Mark. But part of me still longed for something else.
The story continues in 10 seconds. Pause the video to review the new vocabulary and answer the quiz questions.
In the morning, I made a choice. I called Leo. My hands were shaking as I held the phone. When he answered, I said softly, "I need space. I need time to think. Time to work on my marriage." There was silence. Then Leo said, "I understand. I want you to be happy, Anna." His voice was calm, kind, the same voice that once made me laugh. When the call ended, I cried. But this time, it felt different. I felt lighter, like I had been carrying a heavy stone in my chest, and finally put it down. I told Mark about my decision. I said I wanted us to go to counseling. He looked surprised, but then he nodded. He even found the place and made the first appointment. It wasn't easy. Some sessions were painful. We talked about things we had hidden for years, things that hurt to say out loud. But little by little, we started to heal. Months passed. I didn't talk to Leo much anymore, just a message now and then, like old friends do. He understood. He always did. Sometimes I thought about him when a song played or when I saw something funny online. But the pain was softer now. The guilt was fading. The confusion was turning into peace. Now, when I wake up, I open the window. The sea air comes in, fresh and salty. The birds walk on the roof, just like before. But something inside me has changed. I feel stronger. Mark sometimes makes coffee for me in the morning. We walk by the sea together and hold hands. We still argue sometimes, small things, silly things, but we also laugh again. Not like before. No, this time it feels real. We are not perfect, but we are trying. Leo will always be a part of my story. He showed me what it feels like to be seen, to be truly heard. He gave me light in a very dark time, and I will always be thankful for that. But in the end, I chose my marriage, and more importantly, I chose myself. Because love is not just a feeling, it's a choice. A choice we make again and again. To stay, to fight, to grow. If you ever find yourself standing between two roads, like I was, take a deep breath. You don't have to rush. Listen to your heart, and when you choose, choose with courage. My story isn't about being perfect. It's about learning to love again. It's about making mistakes, feeling lost, and still finding your way home. Maybe my story will remind someone out there that hope can grow, even from pain. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share. You can watch the next story here or explore our playlist for more inspiring stories. And don't forget to subscribe. More emotional stories for learning English are coming soon.